In life, we often find ourselves questioning our existence, wondering if we have a greater purpose. What if you were told that every single person is created with a specific divine purpose, designed to function optimally in the grand design of life? For the chosen ones, the journey is not only about discovering that purpose, but also living it with faith, patience, and the unwavering strength that comes from a deep connection to God. But what does it mean to be chosen? What role does faith play in this divine plan? And how do we navigate the trials and delays that are part of life's journey? In this video, we will explore these questions and more, offering insight into the life of the chosen ones and the spiritual principles that guide them. Divine purpose. A journey of fulfillment. When we think of purpose, we often think of personal ambitions or goals. However, the concept of divine purpose transcends individual desires. The chosen ones are believed to have been created by God for a specific purpose, much like an inventor designs a machine for optimal function. Each person is uniquely crafted with qualities and gifts, tailored to fulfill this divine calling. But how do we discern this purpose? What happens when we struggle to find meaning in our lives? The truth is that understanding divine purpose is not always immediate. Often it unfolds gradually as we grow in wisdom and faith. It requires an openness to God's will and the humility to recognize that our lives are not merely our own. As the chosen ones walk through life, they are constantly reminded that their journey is guided by a higher power, one that sees beyond the surface and into the heart. Source of strength. Communion with God, living in communion with God, is essential for the chosen ones, as He is the ultimate source of strength, joy, and peace. Just as a machine depends on a specific energy source to function properly, human souls thrive only in God's presence. Without this connection, we may feel drained, exhausted, or lost. Life's challenges can feel overwhelming when we rely solely on our own strength. But the chosen ones understand that their power comes from their relationship with the divine. What happens when the chosen ones face moments of weakness or uncertainty? They turn to God, knowing that He is their refuge and source of strength. This bond with God offers a peace that surpasses understanding, enabling the chosen ones to endure even the most difficult trials. In times of despair, they find solace in prayer, scripture, and the quiet moments of reflection where they connect with the divine. Dependence on God, the right fuel. Just as a car needs the right fuel to run efficiently, human souls require God's presence to thrive. This dependence is not a sign of weakness, but a recognition of our true nature. We were never meant to live in isolation or self-reliance. The chosen ones understand that their strength comes from God, and they must remain connected to Him to fulfill their purpose. But how does one maintain this connection, especially in a world that often encourages self-sufficiency? The answer lies in intentionality. It's about setting aside time for prayer, worship, and reflection, making space for God to speak into our lives. When we make room for the divine, we find that our spirits are nourished and we are better equipped to face life's challenges. Challenges of life. Embracing the struggle life for the chosen ones is not without its difficulties. Their journey often involves challenges that can feel overwhelming. There are periods of exhaustion, loneliness, and doubt, yet the chosen ones are never alone in their struggle. God walks with them through every hardship, offering guidance, comfort, and strength. It is during these times that their faith is tested, but it is also during these struggles that they are refined and shaped into the individuals they were meant to be. What makes the challenges of life bearable for the chosen ones? It's the knowledge that they are part of a larger divine plan. While they may not always understand why they are facing certain trials, they trust that God's purpose is being fulfilled through them. The struggles they endure are not pointless, but serve to refine their character and deepen their relationship with the divine. God's omniscience, a perfect understanding. One of the greatest sources of comfort for the chosen ones is the belief that God sees everything. He understands every struggle, hears every silent prayer, and knows the depths of their hearts. This omniscience assures them that they are never overlooked or forgotten, no matter how invisible they may feel at times. Even when the world around them seems chaotic, they can find peace in the knowledge that God is fully aware of their needs and their journey. In what ways does God's understanding shape the lives of the chosen ones? It offers them a sense of security. No matter how lost or confused they may feel, they can rest in the assurance that God's plan is unfolding perfectly, even when it's not immediately apparent. This knowledge fosters a deep trust that sustains them through life's uncertainty. Special connection. Unique bond with the divine. The chosen ones are believed to have a special connection with the divine, one that provides them with unwavering support during vulnerable times. This connection is not based on their worthiness, but on God's love and grace. It's a bond that transcends human understanding, offering them a sense of security and direction even in the most challenging seasons of life. This unique connection is a source of immense comfort, especially during moments of doubt or confusion. When the chosen ones face moments of vulnerability, they are reminded of God's promise to never leave them or forsake them. This assurance empowers them to face life's challenges with courage and resilience. Invitation for rest. A call to find peace in the midst of life's chaos. God extends an invitation to the weary and burdened to find rest in Him. This rest is not just physical but spiritual, offering a sense of peace that transcends circumstances. For the chosen ones, this rest is a crucial part of their journey. It allows them to recharge, renew their strength, and gain clarity for the next phase of their divine mission. How do the chosen ones respond to this invitation for rest? They embrace it wholeheartedly, recognizing that their ability to fulfill their purpose depends on their connection with God. Rest is not a sign of weakness, but a necessary part of the process. It's a moment of surrender, where they trust that God will provide the strength they need for the challenges ahead. Importance of faith. Trusting in God's plan. Faith is the cornerstone of the chosen one's journey. During trials, they are reminded to remain steadfast in their faith, trusting that God's plan will prevail. This faith is not passive but active, requiring them to believe in God's goodness, even when circumstances seem bleak. It's the belief that, despite the difficulties they may face, God is working all things together for their good. What role does faith play in the life of the chosen ones? It keeps them grounded. It gives them the strength to persevere. Even when the road ahead seems uncertain, through faith, they learn to trust God's timing and plan, knowing that He will never lead them astray. God's timing. Preparation for greatness. One of the most challenging aspects of the chosen one's journey is waiting. There are times when they feel as though their dreams are delayed or their prayers go unanswered. However, God's timing is always perfect. The waiting periods are not rejections, but moments of preparation, growth, and faith building. How can the chosen ones cope with the frustration of waiting? By understanding that delays are part of God's greater plan. These periods of waiting are opportunities to grow in faith, resilience, and trust. Rather than seeing them as setbacks, the chosen ones learn to embrace these moments as a vital part of their journey. Patience as a virtue. Waiting with faith. Patience is not simply about waiting. It is about waiting with faith. It's an active practice of trusting in God's plan and timing, even when the wait seems endless. For the chosen ones, patience is a virtue that shapes their character, building endurance and strength as they navigate the trials of life. What does it mean to practice patience in the midst of life's challenges? It means trusting that God's plan is unfolding at the right time and in the right way. It means resisting the urge to take matters into our own hands and instead waiting on God's perfect timing. Faith in delays. God's delays are not denials. When the chosen ones face delays, they are reminded that God's delays are not denials. While they may not understand why things are happening the way they are, they trust that God is aligning circumstances to prepare them for something greater. The delay is part of the process, and it's a reminder that God's plan is always better than our own. How do the chosen ones maintain hope during delays? They focus on God's faithfulness. They remind themselves that God has never failed them in the past, and He will not fail them now. This trust allows them to endure delays with grace, knowing that God is always working behind the scenes. The stories of Joseph and Abraham. Trusting God's timing, the lives of biblical figures like Joseph and Abraham offer powerful examples of trusting God's timing. Joseph's hardships illustrate how God's timing brought about a greater purpose, while Abraham and Sarah's experience shows the importance of trusting God's promises, even when circumstances seem impossible. What can we learn from these stories? That God's plans are often fulfilled in ways we don't expect. Joseph was sold into slavery, yet this hardship ultimately led to his rise to power and the fulfillment of God's plan. Abraham and Sarah waited years for a child, but their patience led to the birth of Isaac, through whom God's promises were fulfilled. Purpose of waiting. Building resilience and trust. Waiting on God teaches the chosen ones important life lessons. It builds resilience, trust, and dependence on His higher plans. While waiting can feel uncomfortable, it is a time of spiritual growth and preparation. The chosen ones come out of these waiting periods stronger, more confident in God's ability to fulfill His promises. What is the purpose of waiting? It's about growth. It's about learning to trust God's plan, even when it doesn't align with our own timeline. Through waiting, the chosen ones develop patience, perseverance, and a deeper understanding of God's character. Human impatience. The struggle for control. One of the biggest challenges the chosen ones face is human impatience. We all want things to happen on our own timeline, but trying to force outcomes often leads to frustration. The chosen ones are reminded to surrender their desire for control and trust in God's wisdom. By doing so, they learn to accept that God's ways are higher than our own. How do the chosen ones overcome impatience? By focusing on God's faithfulness. They remind themselves that waiting is not a sign of failure, but a necessary part of the journey. Through surrender, they find peace and contentment in God's timing. Perfect plan. Trusting the bigger picture. God's plan for the chosen ones is always for their good. Even when the journey is difficult or the waiting feels endless, they are reminded that God's plans are perfect. They may not understand every detail, but they trust that God is orchestrating everything for their ultimate benefit. What does it mean to trust in God's perfect plan? It means believing that God knows what is best for us, even when we don't understand why things are happening the way they are. It's about surrendering our own desires and aligning ourselves with God's will. Spiritual refinement. Growth through trials. The waiting periods in the lives of the chosen ones are not wasted. They are opportunities for spiritual refinement. Through trials, their faith grows stronger and their character is shaped. The challenges they face become stepping stones to greater blessings, as they are refined by God's love and grace. What role do trials play in the lives of the chosen ones? They are opportunities for growth. While they may not be easy, these trials serve to strengthen their faith, build their character, and prepare them for the blessings that lie ahead. Strength in silence. God's work behind the scenes during moments of silence. When it seems as though God is not speaking, the chosen ones find strength in knowing that God is working behind the scenes. Even when there are no visible signs of progress, God is adjusting details, aligning circumstances, and preparing them for what's next. How do the chosen ones find peace during periods of silence? By trusting that God is always working, even when they can't see it. This trust provides them with the strength to continue moving forward, knowing that God is in control. Encouragement from Scripture. Trusting God's plans. Scripture offers powerful reminders of God's faithfulness and His perfect plans. Verses like Jeremiah 29:11 and Isaiah 40:31 encourage the chosen ones to trust in God's timing and plans. These verses remind them that God's promises are sure and that He will never abandon them. How does Scripture encourage the chosen one? It serves as a source of comfort and strength, reminding them of God's eternal love and faithfulness. It offers reassurance that God's plan is always for their good. Even when the journey is difficult, Role of trust. Peace amid uncertainty. Trust is at the core of the chosen one's journey. Trusting in God brings peace and shields them from fear and doubt, even when life is uncertain. When the chosen ones choose to trust, they find that their hearts are calmed and their fears are silenced. What happens when the chosen ones trust God? They experience a peace that surpasses understanding. This peace enables them to face life's challenges with confidence, knowing that God is with them every step of the way. God's sovereignty. Aligning with His will, the chosen ones understand that God's sovereignty is absolute. His plans and ways are higher than human understanding, and they trust that everything is aligning perfectly according to His will. While they may not always understand why certain things happen, they trust that God's purposes will always prevail. How does acknowledging God's sovereignty affect the chosen ones? It brings them peace, knowing that they are part of a larger divine plan. They trust that God is in control, even when life seems chaotic or unpredictable. Active waiting. Faith in action. Active waiting is a crucial part of the chosen one's journey. It involves not just sitting idly, but actively trusting in God's plan while preparing spiritually for the blessings to come. It's about remaining faithful, staying prayerful, and trusting that God's timing is perfect. What does active waiting look like? It's about maintaining faith and trust, even when we can't see the outcome. The chosen ones know that waiting is not passive, but an essential part of their journey. Lessons from trials. Building perseverance in character. Trials and waiting periods build perseverance, character, and hope, as exemplified by biblical figures like Joseph and Abraham. These lessons teach the chosen ones to trust God in the midst of hardship and to remain steadfast, knowing that God's plan will ultimately prevail. What can the chosen ones learn from their trials? They learn that perseverance leads to character and hope. Through their struggles, they become stronger and more equipped to fulfill their divine purpose. Divine encouragement. God's presence and love despite the hardships. The chosen ones are reminded of God's constant presence and love. He reassures them that they are never alone and that He is always there to offer encouragement and support. This divine love strengthens their resolve and helps them persevere through the toughest time. What role does God's love play in the lives of the chosen ones? It provides them with the strength to keep going. Even when the journey is difficult, they know that God's love will never fail them. Faithful promises are faithful and true. The chosen ones are reminded that His word will never return void, and that His promises will always be fulfilled in His perfect time. This knowledge gives them hope and assurance as they wait for God's promises to unfold. What does it mean to trust in God's promises? It means believing that God will do exactly what He said He would, even when the timing doesn't align with our expectations. Blessings in preparation. Refining for greatness. Waiting is not a waste for the chosen ones. It is a time of refining and preparation for the blessings to come. While the wait may feel long, it is during these moments that they are shaped, strengthened, and prepared for the extraordinary purpose God has in store for them. How can the chosen ones embrace the waiting period? By understanding that this time is essential for their growth and preparation. The blessings that lie ahead are worth the wait, and they trust that God is preparing them for something extraordinary. Encouragement to persevere. Staying the course, the chosen ones are encouraged to remain steadfast, trusting in God's eternal love and purpose. Despite the difficulties and delays, they are reminded that their journey is leading them to something greater. They are urged to persevere, knowing that God's plan is unfolding perfectly. What keeps the chosen ones going? It's the knowledge that God's love will never fail them, and that His purpose for their lives is worth every challenge they face. Divine awareness. Guiding the chosen ones. Finally, the chosen ones can take comfort in knowing that God is fully aware of their struggles and potential. He guides them toward their divine mission, always working behind the scenes to align circumstances and prepare them for what lies ahead. This divine awareness assures the chosen ones that they are on the right path. Even when the journey is difficult,